All right, good morning. Happy Monday. It is January 6th. We are taking a look at NQ NASDAQ this morning with a true gap higher. Prices up and through that prior day high, trading outside of that prior day's range, which was Friday, right near that 21,700 level of interest. So that's going to be the main watch off of the open here. As always, anytime you have a gap outside of the prior day's range, gap rules are going to apply. So I want to see how that gap is going to be treated off the open, whether or not sellers are going to be stepping in here to try and fill the gap, or if we're going to see that gap hold and show more of a gap and go type of day here. Now, the backdrop is currently neutral on the intermediate term and near term structure. That can certainly shift within the next couple of days here. Friday switched the backdrop from neutral bearish to neutral. So we'll see what today's action looks like, whether or not sellers start to step in here again near that 21,700 or maybe that 21,800. If we do see that 21,700 fail to hold, that prior day high is down near 21,550 area. That's also last week's high. So that'll be a significant area to be watching. That's that next downside level of interest if 21,700 does fail. Let's take a look. Where's our overnight low is even lower than that, down near 21,478. Got a very brief sell here during that pre-market session right at the head of the bell, testing VWAP, testing some overnight structure, holding as support. So we'll see. We'll see how that 21,700 is going to be treated. That's my main focus here off of the open. All right, here's the open. NQ right against session volume point of control 735. We have a true gap higher. NQ testing that overnight high 21,760. So some sellers attempting there at the overnight high. Staying patient for now. NQ made a new high there. No follow through. The NQ not too far off of that. 21,800 upside level of interest now. New highs being made. Coming into 21,800. That opening 5-minute bar, quite bullish. So buyers doing a good job of holding that gap higher so far. NQ right back into the overnight high. Pretty slow open so far. They're staying patient here. Let that structure build. We do have a data print at 9:45 and 10 a.m. as well. So we'll see if that helps bring some movement in. NQ, there's 800 trading, 21,800. Overnight high held. Looks like NQ is the only index through the overnight high so far this morning. We've got Russell down near prior day high, YM down near prior day high, and ES testing the overnight high. First data print is in 5 minutes here. There's NQ, new high of day. Another push there into 21,800. Pretty steady with the higher lows here. Quite choppy though on that 1 and 2 minute chart. Got data in 3 minutes. We'll see if this data brings a little more market activity for us. A little more action as NQ just kind of churns. We do have ES making some session highs here up through the overnight high. There's your fresh highs, NQ, and data. First data print in 1 minute. We've got the next one at 10 a.m. See what kind of action we get here. Some sellers stepping in now. Keep an eye on that 5 minute. This 5 minute close. So far, the gap has held quite nicely. Well, that was a nothing burger. That data print there. Got another data print at 10 a.m. So far, not much to do here. Stay patient. Stay patient. There's your new high on NQ. Next upside level, if that 21,800 continues to show acceptance, is 21,900 and then the 22K. There's your 5 minute. So far, buyers showing that gap and go push. Although the intraday a bit choppier than I personally like to see. Looks like you've got ES pushing as well, testing that 60-50. level of interest. Volume is a bit lighter than I would like. We'll see what 10 a.m. is looking like. 10 minutes, 10 till 10. So far as setups, just seeing some action versus that overnight high. Not the best, though, if you ask me. So the day is young. The day is definitely young. There's NQ at the new high into 21,840. Gap rule should have kept you out of any shorts so far. So hopefully no shorts are being deployed. Not yet, anyway. See how this 21,800 is going to be treated. Look at that volume print a couple minutes ago, almost into that minimum threshold. It's that Monday action for you. Low volume churn. Low volume churn. There's your retest down near that 21,800 level of interest, and now a new high of day. Theme of the higher lows, at least on microstructure, continues this morning. All right, next data print coming up in 4.5 minutes. You've got another volume print here on the 1 minute, right near that minimum volume threshold. So far, current action is just telling me do less. Nice bounce in YM up into the overnight high. So NQ back into 21,800 here as we get into 10 a.m. 2 minutes till 10. Reminder, we do have that data print here in about 90 seconds now. This is our second or third test of 21,800, depending on how you want to look at it on that 1 minute. All right, let's see this 10 a.m. data print, see if we get some improved action, improved volume here. Otherwise, this may be an early day. We've got multiple prints right at that minimum volume threshold. Pretty much a nothing burger print there. NQ holding 21,800. See how that profile is building out. So we still have quite a ways before that extended hours volume point of control shifts higher. Although it does look like your regular trading hours volume point of control is already right here at 8:15. So all the volume for the regular session currently concentrated in this little structure. Pretty slow start to this Monday. How's everyone doing so far? I suspect largely cash. Pretty choppy here post 10 a.m. Action is not all that compelling. You've got a nice push in YM. If you like trading YM, you may want to keep an eye on that. I'm staying patient This action is not worth burning mental capital for, so not really interested in the 21,800 level of interest given the current structure. So I'd like to see some potential retrace into the overnight high. Evaluate price action down there, or maybe 21,700 even. But as of right now, just sitting on my hands. Nothing to do. Nothing to do. Definitely don't want to get chopped up, so wait for those conditions to improve. Yep, nothing to do except wait. Yep. Check volume too. It's light volume. There's now the fourth test of that 21,800 area intraday as that 5-minute chart just enters barcode mode. There's your 5-minute current sesh. Yeah, we need price to, well, what I'd like to see is price breaking this consolidation before getting involved. No, no position for me. No position. We do have a nice improvement in volume there. But keep an eye on that 5 minute. It's kind of the main reference here. Here sideways. Yeah, that undercut probably sucked in a lot of shorts. Now they're feeling the pain. There's your new high of day. Nice little modified spring setup there. A little undercut of the structure. Trap some shorts in. NQ, new high of day. Gotta love those traps. Gotta love those traps. All right, I'll give this session probably 15 more minutes for a setup that I can actually work with. Otherwise, this is going to be a wrap for my morning. And that will be a wrap. 15 more minutes. Let's see if we get something. What scenarios? I still want to see some action outside of this consolidation. I mean, we've got some traps potentially being set here on either side of it. I want to see price actually leave what I have highlighted on the screen there, pretty much this little consolidation area. So maybe a retest into that overnight high would be worth looking at, but I would prefer 21,700, like a blip below the session low. Seems unlikely at this point. Or farther extension higher that then gives a pullback into some reference point or some level of interest. But my main objective right now is just to avoid choppier conditions. My edge is definitely weakest when it's choppy like this, so that's the focus. That is the focus. And we get that little uptick in volume, and then we're right back here at the minimum volume threshold. So it's just more signs from the market telling me not to trade. Yeah, I really don't like these kind of churn style markets, grindy price action. It's just not, doesn't work super well with my edge, doesn't work super well with my process and my system. So rather than fight it, just stay cash. Stay in cash. So far there's pretty typical Monday, slower Monday action. Buyers definitely showing up, but relatively slow. NQ is also one ATR move now for the sesh. That includes the overnight action. Oh, this is pretty interesting right here. Look at this. We have that unfilled gap. What day was that? Friday, December 27th, that gap down day. So right above pretty much current price, got an unfilled gap. Yeah, that's basically the high of day for today. Let's switch this to a 10-minute. There you go. So if price can get above this 865 area, 870 area, wouldn't be surprised to see some drift into that 22K, fill the gap. And that's a regular trading hours chart, of course. Then above that, just kind of looking ahead here, remember this lower high is quite significant on the intermediate term chart and the daily chart. There's like a must defend point for sellers, that 22,100 area. All right, 5 more minutes for our call to morning. How's everyone doing? Still cash? How we doing? Any trades taken? Let me know in the chat. Let me know. Here's been my morning right here. Two tiny scalps versus that overnight high. Couple of attempts there. Zero follow through. So cash, 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 cash. Little green cash. Good. That's a good sign, actually. That's a good sign. These are the type of sessions you don't want to be just burning through your mental capital fighting the chop. There are definitely easier days to trade. And that's what we're looking for. On the other days, it's just a matter of preserving our mental capital and our trading capital, focusing on something else. Everyone gets into trading for the freedom, and then when the day comes that the market's actually giving them some freedom, they just sit there fighting the chop all day long, all day. So don't let that be you. NQ pressing the highs. Almost into that 21,900. It's now well into that regular trading hours gap we identified a bit earlier. You can't see that. There it is. I was pushing into the gap here. So far, we have that gap higher. Gap rules apply, right? Got a gap outside of the prior day's range. Gap rules apply. Buyers step in off the open, and it's just a steady push higher. All right, folks, 1 hour into the sesh. I'm going to go ahead and call it there. Two very light scalps on my end versus that overnight high. Otherwise, just cash. So, scenarios I'd consider, I need to see some sort of velocity base move, some sort of momentum. Maybe some news hitting the tape or something like that. But so long as price continues to churn as it has been this morning, that is a hands-off scenario for me. Hands-off scenario. Always a bummer when the sessions are a little slower like this, right? But that's a very real part of trading, very real part of the market. Have to know how to handle these sorts of days. And for me, this is, I'm sure someone out there is loving this action, but this is not my action. So got to recognize that. Stay in cash. So I hope you guys had a good morning. Remember, cash is a position. Staying cash when you don't see your edge is our job. That is what we are supposed to do as traders. So we'll keep it going in the Traders Think Tank. Otherwise, I'll see you guys tomorrow morning. Have a good rest of your day.